Have you ever had one of those moments where you stood back and said, I think somebody up there doesn't like me? It's easy enough. The pressures of life, financial, family, health, they're enough to coerce a person into reaching the conclusion, I think God doesn't love me. He doesn't love me anymore. After all, look what he's doing to me. You're wrong. You see, we as Jews believe that God is Marachem al Abriot. He exercises infinite compassion over the entire spectrum of life. And as for humanity, he exercises Hashgacha Pratit, individual supervision of each and every human being. But when it comes to the Jewish people, for us he has an especial love. And we proudly proclaim this fact twice a day in conjunction with our paramount prayer, the Shema. In the morning before we say the Shema, we utter a blessing. Baruch atah Hashem, blessed are you, O Lord, abocher b'amo Yisrael be'ahava, who chooses his people in love. And in the evening, before the Shema, I say the blessing, Baruch atah Hashem, ohev b'amo Yisrael, he who loves his people Israel, in perpetuity. At this point you might want to say to me, he loves us, he loves me. He's got a funny way of showing it, look what he's doing to me. And I would respond, yes, he does love you. Because suffering is one of the ways in which God shows his love for us. You see, we all have our little stockpile of offences, of sins. And we do have to face the music. We have to accept divine justice. But God says to us, as it were, I want to bring you into the afterlife in a state of perfection. So I will cleanse you in this world through suffering. Suffering is my cleansing agent. And this will bring you into a perpetuity of happiness. But you might say to me, how do I know if God actually is doing this out of love? How do I know? Why can't I say this is good old-fashioned retribution? I've done wrong, I'm getting my comeuppance. And the rabbis will tell you there's one of two ways. The first is Talmud Torah, the study of Torah, the paramount practice of the Jew. It is our pathway to paradise. And indeed, the rabbis insist that when we stand before the heavenly tribunal, the very first question that will be asked of is, have you studied Torah? Therefore, if a person is in physical or mental anguish, but he can still sit down and study God's words, then that means his pathway to paradise is not blocked. God still loves him. God still loves you. And he takes delight in your learning. Oh, you might be thinking, well, thank you. You've just written me out the script. Reality is, try to be a decent human being. My Jewish practice could do with a bit of upgrading. But when it comes to Torah learning, I had a rudimentary education in my childhood. And since then, I've learned precious or little. So you've blocked my path. Don't stand a chance. The answer is no, you're wrong again. There's the alternative route. Tefillah, prayer. It's accessible to every Jew, man, woman or child. Each and every one of us has a direct line to the Almighty. I call it a BT line. Not British Telecom, Baal Teshuvah. It's the penitence line. Once again, no matter what we're suffering, mentally, physically, if we can still pray, then it means God hasn't cut us off. He's still listening at the other end of the line. When I speak of prayer, I'm not just referring to the formal prayer, the Amidah, standing before God and declaring our thoughts. No. If you're incapacitated, you can't stand, then sit down and pray. If that's too much for you, lie in your bed and pray. If you reach that point, you can't even articulate your thoughts. Then pray in your heart and in your mind, because God has an established reputation for being a mind reader. So let us not give up hope. Let us commit ourselves to God. Place our lives in his hand and try not to be afraid. Keep on praying, for this is our major way. And I can only hope that we can fulfill the last two lines of one of our best known poems, the Adonolam. We'll proclaim B'yado aktiv ruchi. Into his hand I commend my spirit. Be'eti shan v'ya'ira. When I sleep and when I wake, all time, all day, I'm in his hand. Therefore, Im ruchi, gviyati, with my body and my soul, I proclaim, Adonai li, the Lord is for me, he loves me. V'lo ira, therefore I shall not be afraid. So my friends, stay on your BT line, keep praying, and may the Almighty answer us, each according to our needs.